Alright, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 AlphaStar video. In the map King's Cove, we have AlphaStar playing Terran. And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have got another Terran player, this one being a Master. So a good old Alpha TVT. The AI can be absolutely lethal in this matchup, but I think it is a matchup which we haven't seen too much of AlphaStar, or enough really. But to be fair, we'll never see enough AlphaStar, so that's just the way that goes. But yeah, if I was to define how the AI plays, I couldn't really say much, other than the AI doesn't tend to necessarily prioritize bio-tank. It also has its odd air styles that it goes for, being like its massive Viking Banshee stuff, which just is far from the norm. But it isn't, yeah, I don't know, the AI is just weird, you know, when it comes to TVT, because the AI has a hard time sort of with positioning. That seems to be one of its weakest points, like understanding that, oh, if I put my army here, this is a good thing, or if I attack now, this is a good thing, depending on my opponent's position. So that does seem to be a weak spot for the AI, which is why I want to see more AlphaStar TVT, because TVT is all about positioning. For the most part, anyway. It's just such a volatile matchup. Now, we have got something a little bit cheeky from the Masters player. Gonna potentially be throwing up a proxy. The Masters player has gone for double gas on his side of the map. He's getting up his factory. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a proxy starport, potentially proxy Banshee versus AlphaStar's simple Reaper expand, going for the greedy play as usual. AlphaStar notorious for going for Reaper expands, for going for gateway expands in PvP, for going for, oh, what other matchups is it really greedy with this expands? I'd say it's mainly just those two matchups, which it plays ways that you don't necessarily want to play all the time. And so we could be seeing the AI get punished. This is actually a build that I perform myself a lot. I really do enjoy this build, as if your opponent doesn't have very good multitasking, a Reaper Hellion and out on the front gives you good defense early on. Then just rallying Banshees into your opponent's side of the map is a really good strategy. So we'll see how well AlphaStar is going to deal with this, what it's going to choose to make. Because right now, all I'm seeing is a couple of Hellions being produced. It's got a starport on the way. So it really does depend what AlphaStar is going to go into. Because if it's going into its own Banshee play, it will be in trouble. Because it's going to be left with only Hellions. It's only going to have a Reaper. And if this starport starts making Banshees, the AI will have no anti-air. So we'll see if it's going to maybe swap the factory, make a Cyclone, throw up an Engineering Bay. But for now, it does look like it is just going to be a Liberator play from the Masters players. So not the worst for the AI. But it definitely could still be tricky, seeing as how there's no anti-air, really. I think there was maybe, yeah, no Marines, no nothing, literally nothing to deal with the Liberator. This could be disastrous for the AI. This barracks is just floating around, but oh man, am I ever worried for AlphaStar. I mean, it's got out a good Hellion count, so it's got that going for it, but then it's still going to be getting pressured on the front by the Masters player. This could be just disastrous for the AI. We'll see how this is going to work out. The Liberator's flying towards the main base. The Reapers and Hellions are pushing at the natural. This is going to be a bit of an odd fight. The grenades weren't necessarily used to the best effect for the Masters player, so he will actually lose, or maybe, no, the Masters player will win this battle. AlphaStar, though, is going to be losing SCVs to this Liberator. It seems that it's going to be falling down with this play. The Banshee will be enough to defend on the ground, but the Liberator has denied so much mining in the main base of AlphaStar. The Liberator now going to position itself at the natural, where the AI was just trying to get back to work. We see on the Masters player's side of the map, he hasn't actually started up a command center, so there is a chance AlphaStar will just be fine here. The Liberator, though, now going to go towards the main base, going to start killing off more SCVs. Looks like this Liberator will get killed off. there is the Banshee moving across the map for AlphaStar, so I mean, there is a chance that the AI could actually get some good damage done. A Cyclone is about to pop for the Masters player, but we do see that the Masters player may have committed too much to this and got too little. This is why I'm more of a fan of the Banshee play, because you can just get straight up wins. A Banshee, I think, would have done much better than a Liberator, which is more bulky. You have to control more, I think. And we will see this Banshee get cleaned up by the Masters player, but he's still not in a great spot. He doesn't have a command center yet. He doesn't have, a command center, namely, being the main component. At the same time, though, if we take a look on AlphaStar's side of the map, it's actually going to be going up against double Banshee play, because the Masters player has built another starport and is making a Banshee out of this. The Masters player does have to retreat to the turret to stay safe from this Banshee. It's going to be Banshees on both sides, but AlphaStar has now started production of a Raven. It's going to be finishing up its eBay. It saw the starport here and said, hold up, something might not add up, as there's actually two starports. So a very unique cheese from the Masters player, but we see the Banshee of AlphaStar doing such good work. The Cyclone was locked onto the Banshee there, but the lock-on was broken. The Masters player is just losing more and more workers. We're going to see these Banshees flying in. A turret is almost done for AlphaStar. The SCVs will get focused down. Will they finish the turret? It looks like they will. And these two Banshees are just going to be getting pushed away. I honestly thought that this should have been a build order win for the Masters player, but in the end, AlphaStar showing us it is good enough just to take a W, no matter how poor the build looks. Into game number 2 we go. And in the top right for this one, we have got LaughNgamez. Platty Z taking on Alpha T once again. So we've got ourselves an Alpha Terran video. AlphaStar's TVZ, I think, is pretty good for a Platinum player to overcome, so we'll see if this guy is able to do anything. This is one of the remaining longer AlphaStar matches. I've slowly been working my way through them, and I thought I'd just sprinkle this one in here and catch a look at it, so there's still a bit of variety in the videos. As variety is the spice of life, much like Starcraft builds. And now we'll see what these two players are going to whip out. AlphaStar. I did kind of mech in the last video that I did. It was getting cheesed, and it started making factories and siege tanks and Thors, and kind of just bopped its opponent's cheese. As unless you have like a very early cheese, AlphaStar very well could derail your cheese, and that's what we see happen a lot. As that's what we see happen a lot. As basically the AI will just go for like a little bit of harassment or something, and then for a lesser player who's just doing a cheese, their cheese will be greatly impacted. And so that is not what you want to have happen. But AlphaStar is just too good for anyone to really do anything about it. Now, I don't believe I said this in the last video or in the last match. Let's hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try and aim for, what's the number? We've got 19 workers and 19 supply for the Platinum player, so let's do let's do 9. Let's go for 9 likes on this video while things start to heat on up. And of course, if you are new to the channel and you enjoy this kind of content, subscribe. Go ahead, it's free. We're trying to hit 10,000 subs by the end of the year, which I think should be more than doable, as you guys are the best. Now let's take a look. AlphaStar is just doing a standard Reaper opening, whereas the Platinum player is just getting up his hatchery, getting his speed on the way. Still mining all of his gas, interestingly enough. Makes me wonder what he's going to spend this on. Whether it'll be for something cheeky, or if he's just mining gas for the hell of it. Sometimes players will do that. Reaper runs in for AlphaStar. The Platinum player is going to have to save a drone. Oh, it runs. Does it live? No, it dies. May it rest in peace. AlphaStar gets a drone to start things off. A very good start for the AI. Let's see, the Platinum player has his queen out. Going to inject into that so he can keep making drones. Although he is just floating up a bit of money, so we'll see what he's going to spend that on, whether he'll start up a hatchery or something. Just firing up some more drones. And then AlphaStar has a starport on the way, so Alpha Starport. And the Zerg player, okay, interestingly enough, is showing us what he's using his gas for, getting pneumatized carapace, really wanting to see what his opponent is up to. AlphaStar's Reaper comes in, tosses a grenade just to deny a little bit of mining, like the big jerk that it is. That pneumatized carapace will give the Platinum player effectively a NOS upgrade for Overlords, which they will just go super duper quick. Viking will be coming out for AlphaStar, though, which will help shut down these Overlords, but it's a good thing that the Platinum player has speed, because they can actually escape the Viking, assuming they're microed correctly. Some Zerg players, and actually most Zerg players, do tend to just abandon their Overlords for dead, though. If something starts shooting them, they're just like, ah, whatever, it's dead. When in reality, Overlords with speed can actually outspeed a lot of things. Okay, now let's take a look. This Viking's coming out. And the Viking is quicker, so it will actually kill that Overlord. May it rest in peace. Except these other Overlords should be running away now, too. You don't want to be getting caught up. You don't want to be losing too many Overlords. And oh, I think AlphaStar is going to be getting itself 2 Overlords. Starting up a third base as well. Getting a siege tank out, interestingly enough, just to help guard its wall. This Overlord is running as fast as it can, but it will not survive. Gets a scout off, but not really worth it losing 2 Overlords. The Platinum player is throwing up a Spine Crawler, I guess just to have this in his wall for defensive purposes. No third base has been made yet, though. And based on the lair starting up, based on the gas being mined, it makes me wonder if he's going to throw down a Spire. But at the same time, the Zerg player is getting out missile attacks. Has that Spine Crawler in his wall, but hasn't made a Roach Warren or a Hydralisk Den yet. We'll see what he's going to make that will benefit from a missile attack upgrade, or whether he'll just throw up a Spire, or what he's going to build. I am not sure. Looks like AlphaStar is going to be meching once more, which is cool to see. The AI recently shown us some mech games. The Platinum player hasn't made a third base yet, is just droning up very heavily on 2 bases, which is a little bit odd. Throws up an extra Evo, but hasn't made a Roach Warren or anything that's going to benefit from an Evo. Nor is he making Mass Queens, which would technically benefit from this. Looks like another Extractor gets fired up, so it could potentially be Mutas, but yeah, this Platinum player is kind of just freestyling a little bit. And I'm actually quite concerned, seeing as how he's still not making anything. Looks like a third base will be getting fired on up. That drone does make it. Fortunately, Liberators cannot attack buildings. I think everyone is happy about that, even Terran players. Just imagine a Liberator queues up, and then you run your SCVs away, or you run your drones away. But then the Liberator just starts killing your command center or your hatchery. Oh god, that would be horrible. Alright, or kills your Spore Crawlers too. Oh, that would be so nasty. Spore Crawler will move to start working away on this Liberator so the drones can get back to mining. We see the double upgrades are being researched for the Platinum player, but we haven't seen a single building that lets him make anything that uses these upgrades. What are you doing, guy? What are you doing, Platty? I'm just not sure. And ladies and gentlemen, I did say I'd cast every single AlphaStar match, so this is what we're doing. This is one of those matches. Alright, Vikings killing off more Overlords. The Zerg player has made some Lings, but Lings don't benefit from missile attack. Nor has there been a Spire made, nor has there been a Roach Warren. What's he making the tier 2 upgrade for? I don't understand. Do you know what it does? What's it for? I don't know. This is one of those things which someone who just has a vague idea of StarCraft is like, you know what? This should be a great plan. I'll get some really upgraded queens. I'll get my missile attack upgrade in case I make anything else that will use them, just in case, you know. And that's that. AlphaStar behind this is just getting up more factories, happily on 3 bases, producing whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if the AI is like, what are you doing? I don't understand, and then the AI just explodes. Because it can't comprehend what this Zerg player is doing. Looks like that third base does get up. Hellions for AlphaStar could be coming towards this location. 10 more drones being made, +2 missile attack is still on the way. No +2 carapace yet, pardon me. AlphaStar has a 4th base on the way. That's been spotted by this Overlord. But, like, what are you making, Platy guy? What are you doing? Oh, there it is! There's the Hydra Den! Oh, we have it. We have it, like, 4 minutes after the lair completes. Oh, that is good to see. Hydras, I mean, are okay against Mech. We'll see how well the Platinum player is going to do with them. I mean, AlphaStar is playing a mech style, but it is mainly a race car mech style with Hellions and Cyclones, even though there's no mag field accelerator yet. So this will actually be alright for the Platinum player if it's Hydras versus Cyclones and Hellions. If it's Hydras versus Siege tanks, that would be really, really bad. I mean, the 3rd base is getting saturated up for AlphaStar, or for the Platinum player, pardon me. Even a 4th base on the way, so he's kind of just marching to the beat of his own drum, and by gosh, he just made 42 Banelings. Oh, I was wondering what he was going to spend all of his money on. Apparently the Platinum player is like, yep, Banelings are what I need. We'll see if AlphaStar is going to micro well or not, because otherwise these Banelings could cause these Hellions and Cyclones a lot of grief. A lot of grief. No Hydras have actually been made yet, but Carapace is on the way. No Hydra upgrades, but a 4th biz on the way. So I'm just gonna kick my feet up, relax, and see what happens. This game has definitely piqued my interest. Now that there's 40 Banelings on the map, because Banelings can do anything. The Zerg player fires up a bajillion Overlords, by the way. Making 7 more at a time. Definitely going to be overshooting the 176 supply, but he's already lost a lot, so we can't really blame him. Spreading his creep, too. Just so many creep tumors. Just starting to move out. None pushing out in the middle of the map. Just towards his 4th. More Cyclones are on the way for AlphaStar. PF is on the way, so that 4th base is getting up. If these Cyclones decide to go up a ramp, they could have a bad time, because this is actually a lot of Banelings. They don't have plus melee attack, though, which is a shame, because Banelings really do benefit from attack upgrades. The Zerg player is now getting muscular augments, just macroing up at his own pace. AlphaStar is going to move up the ramp. The Banelings are going to start chasing back. Oh my god, are they going to get connections? AlphaStar's locked into a corner. The Banelings are crashing into everything. Oh my gosh, that was actually a pretty good trade for the Platinum player. Oh, that was mental. And he's making more Banelings. What a legend. What a legend. AlphaStar just runs into a bunch of Banelings. Well, I mean, kind of gets itself trapped. That was awesome to see. Oh my god. I'm so glad I chose to cast this game, even though it's a little bit derpy. AlphaStar, by the way, has not got the Cyclone upgrade yet, Mag Field Accelerator. So these Cyclones aren't actually doing as much damage as they could against certain things. I mean, there's nothing really that they'd benefit from extra damage versus armored, seeing as how it's just mainly Hydras and Banelings, but, you know, it's always good to have a cheap upgrade like that when you're making a ton of units. Now the Hydras are going to crash, or Hydras and Banelings are going to move forward. How are the connections? The Lings are actually wrapped around this army. The Zerg is going for it. There's lots of Banelings on top of these Cyclones. More dead Cyclones. And once again, the Platinum player repels AlphaStar. The AI this time is just saying, beep boop, build Cyclones. If it made siege tanks, it would totally just win the game. But it says, no, I am race car meching. I'm doing my own thing. You can't tell me what to do. There's 3/3 upgrades on the way for the Platinum player. Getting that Hydraless Grooved Spines upgrade, so they have extra range, which is always good against Cyclones, which you're microing against. AlphaStar is still just producing off of 5 factories. We're going to see an engagement happen. These are some pretty good Cyclone lock-ons and kiting. So AlphaStar is actually using the Cyclone somewhat decently. It has an alright idea of how to engage and then retreat, but it just has let the Banelings get a little bit too close for comfort. The Platinum player is making more Hydras, making Lings and Banelings. 3/3 is on the way. AlphaStar is going to be getting up a 5th base location, whereas the Zerg is still just on 4 bases. Cyclone's coming up, going to attack the Creep Tumor. Here comes all the Banelings, though, for the Platinum player. Going to start chasing the army, getting some okay connections. These Banes would be dealing a lot more damage if there was melee attack upgrades. But, I mean, he's still trading out all right. The Banelings are kind of just hitting everything, because why not? Yeah, looks like the Hydras are now stepping off creep. Gonna be chasing AlphaStar back home. Supply's actually very even right now, but Hydras aren't bad against Cyclones, so we'll see what the Zerg's gonna do, whether he's gonna keep this going. There's a chance AlphaStar could lose this game, I'll say. If it just keeps making, Cyclones. These Cyclones are now moving. They're potentially gonna run into those Hydras. They change their mind and say no thank you. AlphaStar is also interestingly building another factory, so it'll be able to keep those upgrades going, I guess, but it's already almost done its attack, so it could have just kept going with one armory. We'll see if it makes air upgrades at the same time or not, or whether that's a bit of a dirt, but based on the extra starports, we probably will be seeing air units. Could potentially be battle cruisers, maybe Mass Liberator, probably Mass Liberator if this is based on pro games from around when AlphaStar was getting made. Adrenal Glands is on the way, gonna help those Lings against Cyclones, which is always good. They really would benefit from attack upgrades, as it's just a modifier that scales really, really well. The Zerg player is still charging forward with these Lings. The Cyclones back off. The Hydras are coming in though. They are +3 attack Hydras, so they'll deal a lot of damage to this planetary fortress, which doesn't have building armor, by the way. So the Zerg player kills off one of AlphaStar's bases. Nicely done. I mean, we'll see how well AlphaStar is going to micro this. The Hellion Cyclone gets its strength from, or the Hellion Cyclone composition really works when you're on a great economy, but AlphaStar isn't managing its production that well, or taking the best trades in the world. So, I mean, this is why I'm talking about how the Platinum player has hope. I'd like to see the Platinum player take a couple more bases. I'd like to see AlphaStar get some more production up. Like, it's still just on 5 racks. It's making some starports now, most likely for Liberator range, and just Mass Liberators to go with this. But Hydras are decent against all of this. Oh, the Platinum player is going to be committing, or AlphaStar is going to be committing in. There's a chance that the Platinum player could get a surround on these Cyclones and Hellions, and if he can get that fight, he will definitely win it. Particularly with 43 more Banelings on the way. Yeah, this is mental. Okay, I am enjoying this match right here. +1 melee attack is also on the way for the Zerg player, so he's doing just fine. And I gotta say, I'm really enjoying this game. I thought that the Zerg player was just gonna die, but AlphaStar is derping a little bit, so it's not necessarily playing super peak. Banelings rolling forward, gonna be connecting with Cyclones. More Banelings rolling forward. The Hydras as well, pursuing these Cyclones away. And this is just so much Zerg moving out on the map. And if we pull up the Resources Lost tab, AlphaStar has been trading just about on par with the Platinum player, when in reality, I mean, that's okay for AlphaStar, because Hellion Cyclone isn't a super cost-efficient composition. The concern happens, though, if AlphaStar doesn't, like, take too many more bases, because you need an insane economy and production to make Hellion Cyclone work. Liberator's getting towards the 5th base of the Platinum player and toasting up a ton of drones is a really nice job for AlphaStar. Looks like some Liberators also get turned around, which is good to see AlphaStar now with those Liberators. Those Hellions get wiped off the map by the Banelings. Cyclone's going to be moving in towards the 4th base, going to be hitting this location. Will they lock onto the hatchery? Yes, they will. So the Zerg player suddenly taking a very big beating. These Cyclones notably kill the hatchery comically slow, and they don't actually kill it, because they didn't have mag field accelerator, which really benefits them. These Hydras are just being chased away by the Zerg, or just chasing away the Cyclone. Liberator harassment is starting to begin, and this is where things could really fall apart for the Platinum player. He is starting to build up some spores. Liberator setting up in odd spots for AlphaStar, maybe not understanding the logic that some pro players have used when positioning these. That Liberator really just chilling. Magfield Accelerator is on the way for AlphaStar. Now, 17 minutes into the game is when the AI says, sure, I'll give that a go. Hydras and Banelings gonna roll forward, gonna actually get on top of a lot of these Cyclones, getting some decent kills. Both players with insane banks, both players with suboptimal armies we're seeing. There's been no Infestors, which would help catch this Cyclone Hellion composition. There's been, I don't know, no Vipers either, which is a little bit odd, I think. Liberator's gonna change position to harass. Gonna be hitting the 4th base with the Platinum player. Hatchery's having a rebuild, or no, he's building a macro hatchery now, but I'd really like to see the Zerg player take up a couple of extra bases. AlphaStar is also just rebuilding this location, so both these players slow to make more expansions, but okay. This is where the worry is going to start. AlphaStar says, okay, I haven't killed you yet, so maybe it's time that I make some different units, some siege tanks, perhaps, as I have good results with siege tanks. Interestingly enough, it's Mass Viking siege tank, though, as the Platinum player, or as AlphaStar is starting to make more Vikings. Just 5 Vikings, 5 siege tanks at a time. I mean, the Vikings not good, the siege tanks are good. Spire's on the way for the Platinum player. Has AlphaStar spotted this, and this is why it's like, I need this? No, it hasn't spotted it, but it's still just making the Vikings, because why not? The Platinum player hasn't really been making too many units or replacing his army, which is a little bit sad, particularly when there's going to be mass siege tanks, which will totally ruin his day. These Cyclones now have Magfield accelerators, so they will crush this hatchery much quicker. But the Hydras, Lings, and Banelings are actually going to get on top of this and clean this out. The Zerg player, though, fires up 15 more Hydras, and his economy has fallen into the toilet due to AlphaStar's harassment. I mean, there's 27 drones left. His bank is gone, besides the gas for the most part, and I am a little bit concerned. So we're going to see the Platinum player maybe just go for a big old attack. There is tons of siege tanks, though, for AlphaStar. I think this is going to be the end as the Platinum player surges forward, but as soon as AlphaStar makes some siege tanks, we see how bad massing Hydras is without any spellcasters to support them, at least. And so, yeah, the Platinum player is in a world of trouble now. His bank he had got by the nature of the slow game is now gone. He's got nothing, which will take on Mass Liberator Siege Tank Hellion. AlphaStar's throwing up more CCs like a madman, which is good to see. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it, pretty much. There's no way the Platinum player comes back in this game. I had a little bit of hope, even though he was playing a bit odd, but in the end, AlphaStar does win out. Changes it up, finally. It messed around with Cyclones a little bit too long, I think, but oh well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, let's try and hit, I can't remember how many likes we said, but let's try and hit that goal and blow it out of the water. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, as these Hellbots just go Transformers. These Hellbats, pardon me, not Hellbots, although Hellbots works. And then join the Discord, follow me on Twitter. If you do want to support the channel as well, consider becoming a member. There's various perks for that. We see a battle happening, but AlphaStar does indeed take the game. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been LaughNgamez. Thanks so much for watching.